Good day everyone, I am Elmi Silanyas and for this time we will talk about the general educational adaptations. So, different strategies and accommodations may be used to provide a level playing field for children with communication difficulties or disorders. And And these adaptations are categorized as a new ways or some changes to general and special education that are needed for the students or children with difficulties to meet and to achieve their goals and objectives. So it can it can also be a sense of the alteration or the adjustments in the way of instruction and assessment carried out for or to allow learner for equal opportunity to achieve their desired learning outcomes. So in this section we will discuss the use of UDL or Universal Design for Learning and the practical tips to be used in the classroom. So now let's move on to the first general education of the adaptations, which is Universal Design for Learning. So the use of UDL or Universal Design for Learning in classroom allows children to learn information, demonstrate understanding, and stay engaged in multiple ways. Like such example, multiple means of presentation, expression, and engagement. So, because of weakness resulting from communication difficulties and or disorders, teaching and learning practices as well as assessment should be presented in different modalities and such as visual, auditory, and kinesthetic motor or tactile. So since children with communication difficulties or disorders learns in a different and complex way because of their difficulties, then UDL is designed as teaching approach that works to accommodate the needs of all learners and eliminates the unnecessary hurdles in the learning process. This means that lessons are presented through various means such as using pictures and or videos and hands-on experiential learning. So, and it is not solely by passive approaches such as reading from textbooks, lectures, and teacher-directed discussions. Presenting learning activities in this manner gives children with communication difficulties or disorders the opportunity to use their strengths and stronger modalities to compensate for their weaknesses and a chance to be successful in an inclusive classroom. And now for this time, we will talk about the practical tips for the classroom. So, in addition to using UDL or the Universal Design for Learning, there are practical tips and techniques that teachers can use to provide students with communication difficulties the support they need in order to be successful. So, these suggestions are the best implemented in a classroom that promotes a supportive and respectful culture and one that acknowledges and accepts diversity and allows accommodations for learners with difficulties or disorders. So, here are the following suggestions. First, allow the child to sit near the teacher and the blackboard, away from auditory and visual distractions such as the window and the door. So this is important to keep the child focused on the necessary things they needed to learn. So they must sit near the teacher and the blackboard for them to clearly understand and clearly get the information they need in order for them to learn. So away from window and the door so they can prevent from hearing unnecessary um, noises, or they avoid from seeing other unnecessary distractions. So next is get the child's attention before giving this directions. So call the child's name or use pre-arranged signal such as tap on the table or hand on the shoulder to help the child focus and listen to the directions. So get the child's attention first before giving directions. So to for them to be able to recognize and to be focused on what to do. So next, use pictures, charts, and other visual aids when explaining content to supplement auditory information. So it is important to use pictures and charts and other visual aids to um, supplement the information given to them and for them to effectively grasp the information and learn from the instruction. So next, speak slowly and clearly without exaggerating speech. So teachers should speak slowly and clearly so that the child or the student could learn and to for them to grasp the information slowly and for them to follow the information given to them. So that is important. And next, simply simplify directions into short steps. Break down multi-steps directions and give it one at a time instead of just repeating each one. So it is important for a teacher to give directions one at a time so that the child or the student could um, follow and could get the direction easily and effectively. So next, provide a written copy of directions for a task so a child can refer back to it at his or her own pace. So next, use gestures to clarify information. So just like as students with no communication difficulties or disorders, it is best to communicate with gestures to kana bitong ma-comprehend nimo taman or makuha nimo og unsay iyang pasabot sa iyang gi-communicate nga information. So it is best to have gestures in communicating or to clarify information. So next, use peer-mediated instruction so that peers without difficulties can serve as language models and learning buddies. So next, provide extra time to prepare for oral language activities. So this is very self-explanatory, no? So next, model correct language forms and use appropriate wait times just like 3 to 5 seconds or more to give the child time to think and respond. So lastly, explicitly teach vocabulary that is needed in the learning context to promote better comprehension. So the teacher is necessary to provide vocabulary or meaning to words that unusual or new to the student or the child, so that he can grasp the meaning, or he can learn what the context means, and for her or for him to better comprehend or better learn or understand the information being taught by the teacher. So, universal design for learning alongside different accommodations that are appropriate to the child, and collaboration between the general education teacher and the special education professional will all help the children with communication disorders or difficulties to have a chance to be successful in an inclusive classroom. So that would be all for my part. Thank you and God bless.